All right, people, I'm back. How y'all doing? Another gorgeous sunny morning here. Paradise. Live in a small town. It's paradise. River runs through it. It's paradise. Anyhow, is Marv here again? Our distinguished guest. Yep, he lost his arm at the factory. Anyhow, I do a little spiel here, slightly a little bit different than our previous ones maybe, and but it's should be taken in conjunction with the other videos as well. You will be treated as a person, like Marv here, whether you made a graven identity or not. Now, how hard do you think it can be to prove you're not a Marv? How hard can it be? You ought to know by now that human governments have jurisdiction over persons, and that it is persons that are charged with debt and other offenses. This, what I'm going to speak about here in general terms, is based on a summons, a promise to appear, or you otherwise get dragged into court for any reason, maybe even on purpose. Could be a parking ticket, speeding ticket, family matter, criminal matter, debt collection or foreclosure proceeding, bankruptcy, anything. Could be over the payment of money, payment of a debt, or charged for an offense of some sort. You want to get to trial so you can get on the witness stand. We are talking strategy here. It is from the witness stand with a few choice words and the judge's inability to overcome your testimony, your truth, that victory, freedom from legal mumbo jumbo, once and for all, across the board, for the rest of your time on this planet, can be had. Seriously, not that complicated. A little understanding helps though, of course. Woohoo. Keep in mind here, people, you do not own property in the legal system. Therefore, you cannot possibly own debt either. One goes with the other. See what claiming ownership gets you? Brings on those liabilities. Nevertheless, you do have an equitable interest in your estate, and the estate, not you, is the owner of the property in the legal system, registration number, blah, 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 blah. Whoever controls and regulates property owns the property. When one claims to own property, they recognize him as the estate. That's what I mean by, see what happens when you claim ownership of property. By so doing, he brings liability, all liability, duty and responsibility upon himself. In addition, there is no one at the helm. So the state steps in to administer the estate / you, because you've said, I own the property, which is, it's actually the estate that owns it, you get it? So if you're saying I own the property and it's actually the state that owns the property, you're saying I'm the estate, held in trust. Not good. Anyhow, the question may be then, who should be controlled and regulated by the laws, rules, and regulations? Whenever you're dragged into a court matter, it is like sharks eating away at you, your assets, the family. There is no rhyme or reason, and the truth means shite. Nothing. Telling them they are wrong is saying I am smarter. Good luck with that. Trying to educate them is foolhardy because they know what they do. I told you. The king is doing what God said he will do at 1 Samuel 8:10-17. No joke. That's what they're doing. What God said they would do. Surprise. Now, before I get into the meat of the matter, what I came here to speak about, I went to a little bit here on represent. The word represent, appear, and semblance. Represent. You may have heard the phrase, he who represents himself has a fool for a client and an ass for an attorney. Who is the client? You. You cannot represent yourself. You are you. The word represent goes with the word as, meaning represents as or representing as. When a lawyer represents you, is he you? No, he appears as you. It is not possible to represent yourself only as something else, a fictional being, a character. Appear. This is a short version. Appearance, semblance. When you appear as something, it means you look like it. Bob may look like Steve, but Bob is not Steve. God said, thou shalt not make unto thee a graven image or likeness of anything, similitude, semblance. To look like means to appear as. Appear is not real. When you make an appearance, who are you making an appearance for? Am I really here, or do I appear to be here? Semblance. an outward or token appearance or form that is deliberately misleading, and erroneous mental representation. Synonym of semblance is likeness. Again, Bob may look like Steve, but Bob is not Steve. Walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, will be treated as a duck. Ha ha! Surprise! You don't want to be a duck. Trust me. Okay, so now you've taken the witness stand. You've sworn in to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Excellent. I'm going to give you the short version here. Your talking strategy here. Let them think what they want to think. Let them believe what they want to believe. Go with the flow so you get your butt on that witness stand. It does not matter that your name is the same as the person's name. They will soon get it that there are two beings with the same name. One real, the other fiction or a counterfeit. In other words, it does not matter that you are known by the name John Paul Smith and the person's name is John Paul Smith. It won't matter for these purposes. And do not do any of this without understanding what you're doing. And of course, always be prepared. Very important, be prepared. Yes, you want to take this very seriously. This is a window of opportunity, what I'm sharing here with people that have already got court actions on the go, or excuse me, or where they're going to be dragged into a court situation. I don't care what kind of court situation it is. Again, we're talking about being dragged in there. We're not talking about volunteering to go to court. We're talking about being dragged in there, some legal situation of some kind. I don't care what it is. It truly is a golden opportunity, a window of opportunity to walk out of that courtroom that day and never be bothered by the legal system ever again. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay, so now you're on the witness stand, and first thing you're going to do, I don't owe you anything. He, the person, does. I am not he. And they can never prove that you are, like Marv here. It can't be done. That can be established from the witness stand, so the truth is in evidence on the record. For the remainder of your time in this world, you have been redeemed, no longer treated as a person. They no longer have jurisdiction over you or your property. You'd be free, no longer presumed a debtor, trustee, surety. We have the verbiage to bring that about, as well as what to say if the judge tries to get you to commit perjury. That's the only thing he can do. It's only, and you can shut him down. I think I've shared in previous videos in our tricks, traps, and deceptions, which people should watch in conjunction with this if you're looking at taking this course of action here. The tricks, traps, and deceptions fast track for relief playlist in our YouTube channel. If a judge tries to get you from the witness stand to commit perjury, it's called suborn. You cannot be a judge. But anyhow, we're not done here yet. That is not the end of it. So once you've accomplished that with the judge, you've gone through the process. I'm not he, blah, 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 blah. Now they got to prove differently, which they cannot do. And again, we have the verbiage for this to bring that about, as I say, as well as what to say if the judge tries to get you to commit perjury. You just got to be aware of it, that he's trying to get you to lie. Remember, your truth is your truth. Whatever you're saying from that witness stand, just make it the truth. I'm not him. This is me. Heaven's sakes. So that's not the end of it. Once you're known to not be the person, not on the hook as a debtor, trustee, surety, you can go one step further and demand equitable relief for my estate held in trust by Her Majesty the Queen or USA or whatever the case may be. The estate, as I say, is the owner of the property in the name of the estate. The car, the home, the stuff, the furniture, the income, all of that. By doing this from the witness stand, you take yourself out of the sight of the fictions, out of the sight of the legal guys, and shift the obligation to perform back to the true and proper trustee, being the legal owner custodian of the foundation security, registration of live birth, being the private trust security representing your public estate. They hold it. They're holding the estate, as we said here, in trust. You're not asking for equitable relief for you, for the estate. They are holding in trust. You're putting them on notice here with respect to breach of duty if they don't perform. The reason there is a trust is because of an uneven exchange. Simple as that. There's no deed trust documents here, no deeds of trust, none of that nonsense. It's not necessary. Nothing of equal value is given in exchange or was given in exchange for that foundational security, registration of live birth. Same when you purchase a brand new car. The government gets the manufacturer's certificate of origin or the new vehicle information statement, the security, which is titled to the car, but does not give any value for it. Therefore, the holder of the estate in trust is with the obligation to perform as the owner. Of course, only after you have been redeemed or deemed again, meaning they know you're not the person now. It's over. Once the judge knows you're not the person, it's over. And again, just a reminder here, we touched on some of these concepts generally in the Tricks, Traps, and Deceptions Fast Track for Relief video playlist. And we have a whole bunch of meetings on this in our Reclaim Your Securities Zoom recordings. We did these, I think, starting last August or September 2021. Now, after this, you should see why, rather than argue over the ownership of property, my Canadian house, my Canadian car, my Canadian stuff, my Canadian children, all of which is estate property owned in trust, why don't you just acknowledge the judge as the owner, trustee? Good morning, your owner. Remember, the judge represents the owner, trustee for the estate and is the final authority in Wonderland. He's the father. All the others are children. They got to listen to Dad. Dad says he's not Marv. Whoever that comes about, or he's a man, what's a man doing in my court? Whoever that comes about. As soon as the judge says that, then the rest of them got to back down. So as soon as the judge knows you're not the person, you have the tool now that they have nowhere to look but inward to themselves for performance. I kid you not. This has been done before. So there you have it. That's just some of the strategies. There's more to it that you should be prepared for. Or I would be prepared for it because you never know how they're going to react to stuff. But the thing is, once you've indicated from the witness stand, I'm not he, the person charged, the defendant, however you get that out, the onus now shifts on them to prove otherwise. And the judge cannot interfere with that. The judge cannot incite you to commit perjury. And so if they start, the judge is challenging you on that, then that's right away. You got to be going just like he's one. You told me to swear and to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. They asked, is it okay to lie in the court? You said no. So I'm telling you the truth. Now you don't want to hear it. It's again more ammunition that I would have in my pocket ready just in case. But it's moving party, generally the crown or the lawyer for the other, for the applicant, moving party, whatever, and. So they've got to prove that you're this. And again, we have the ammunition that they can't do it. So they can't prove this element of the case, and they have the obligation to prove every element of the case. So even if they prove everything else, yeah, you did it. But like I said in a previous video, but I'm not, and I did all of those things, but I'm not a dog. I'm not Marv. You charge Marv. Pretty straightforward. Very straightforward. And then you bring in, and so like I say, once that's done, you've taken yourself out of the equation. Now they're going that. Then you bring in the aspect of the estate. You want equitable relief for the estate that they're holding in trust. Because once you've taken yourself out of the equation, then they can't stick anything to you anymore after that. Because once the father of the country is recognized that you're not one of them, then it's over. So anyhow, I think I've said enough, and video's long enough, and thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming on and listening and watching. Blah, blah, blah. Love you. God bless. Keep on smiling. And the light of God never fails. It's not possible. It's not that there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's all there is light. We just got to stop seeing darkness. Maybe there's light where we see darkness. Maybe there's actually light there somewhere. Maybe the darkness is within. We get inquiries from time to time, people asking where this information is applicable. Is it applicable in this country, in that country, blah, 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 blah. If your country's dealing with persons, jurisdiction is to have jurisdiction over persons, the answer to the question is an absolute yes. With respect to securities, it's the same thing. If they're part of the IMF, they're part of the commercial system, they got a pledge registry, they register births, they register things. It's all securities. So the answer is yes. So I guess what I'm saying is unless you're under a dictatorship, this information applies in whatever country you're at. God bless. Love you. Ciao for now. Till next time. Au revoir.